Welcome to HQ English Fluency, where we learn English and earn money. I'm your host, Nabila. Today, we have a fun and exciting episode for all our tech-loving listeners. In today's world, technology changes very fast. It's important to keep up with these changes. But how do we do that? To help us, we have two special guests. First, we have Sonia. She knows a lot about new technologies. Welcome, Sonia.
Thank you, Nabila. I'm happy to be here and share some tips with everyone.
And we also have Alex. He is great at explaining tech in a simple way. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks, Nabila. I'm excited to be here and talk about technology.
Great. Today, we will talk about how to stay updated with rapidly changing technologies. Whether you are new to tech or already know a lot, this episode will help you stay ahead. Plus, you will improve your English too. Are you ready to learn more about tech and practice your English? Let's get started. Sonia and Alex, welcome to the show. Before we jump into our main topic, could you both briefly introduce yourselves and tell us what you do?
Thank you, Nabila. I'm Sonia, a software engineer with 7 years of experience in the tech industry. I currently work for a leading AI company and am passionate about staying on top of the latest technological advancements.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex, and I work as a digital marketing specialist. I've been in the field for about 10 years, and my job requires me to constantly adapt to new digital tools and platforms.
Fantastic. Let's get started with our discussion. Sonia, our first question is for you. In your experience, what's the biggest challenge in keeping up with rapidly changing technologies?
That's a great question, Nabila. I'd say the biggest challenge is the sheer pace of change. New technologies, frameworks, and tools are emerging almost daily. It's not just about learning something new. It's about continually updating our knowledge and skills. This can be overwhelming, especially when you're already working full-time and have other commitments.
I completely agree with Sonia. In digital marketing, we see new platforms and algorithms popping up constantly. It's a real challenge to stay relevant and effective in our strategies.
Those are excellent points, Alex. Let's turn to you for our next question. What strategies do you use to stay informed about the latest technological trends in your field?
Well, I've developed a multi-pronged approach. First, I follow industry leaders and influential tech blogs on social media. This gives me quick updates and insights. Second, I subscribe to several tech newsletters that curate the most important news. Lastly, I dedicate at least 30 minutes each day to reading in-depth articles or watching tech-related videos.
That's a solid strategy, Alex. I do something similar, but I also participate in online tech communities and forums. It's a great way to learn from peers and get real-world perspectives on new technologies.
Those are fantastic tips. Sonia, here's a question for you. How do you balance learning new technologies with perfecting your skills and existing ones?
That's a tricky balance to maintain, Nabila. I try to follow the 80-20 rule. I spend about 80% of my time deepening my knowledge of the technologies I use daily in my job. The remaining 20% is for exploring new and emerging technologies. This way, I'm not neglecting my core skills while still staying open to innovation.
I like that approach. Sonia, in my field, I also try to identify which new technologies are likely to have the biggest impact and focus on those. It's impossible to learn everything, so prioritization is key.
Excellent advice. Alex, the next question is for you. How do you apply the new technologies you learn about in your work?
Great question. Nabila, I'm a big believer in learning by doing. Whenever I come across a new tool or technology that seems promising, I try to incorporate it into a small project or experiment. For example, if I learn about a new social media analytics tool, I might use it to analyze a small campaign. This hands-on approach helps me understand the practical applications and limitations of new technologies.
That's a smart approach, Alex. In software development, we often create proof-of-concept projects to test new technologies. It's a low-risk way to experiment and learn.
Those are great insights. Sonia, here's another question for you. How important is networking and staying updated with new technologies?
Networking is absolutely crucial, Nabila. Technology doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's created and used by people. By networking with other professionals, attending conferences, and participating in webinars, we get exposed to different perspectives and use cases. Sometimes, a casual conversation with a colleague can lead to discovering a game-changing technology or approach.
I couldn't agree more. Sonia, in digital marketing, networking has often given me early insights into emerging trends before they become mainstream.
That's so true. Alex, let's hear from you on this next question. How do you evaluate which new technologies are worth investing your time in learning?
That's a critical question. Nabila, I use a few criteria. First, I look at the adoption rate and backing of the technology. Is it gaining traction in the industry? Are major companies investing in it? Second, I consider its potential impact on my work. Will it significantly improve efficiency or open new opportunities? Lastly, I think about its longevity. Some technologies are just fads, while others have staying power.
Those are excellent points, Alex. In the software world, we also look at the community around a technology. A strong, active community often indicates that a technology will be well maintained and have good resources for learning and troubleshooting.
Those are really helpful criteria. Sonia, here our final question for you. How do you think learning about new technologies impacts English language skills, especially for non-native speakers?
That's an interesting connection, Nabila. As a non-native English speaker myself, I've found that staying updated with new technologies has significantly improved my English skills. Tech documentation, articles, and videos are often in English, so you're constantly exposed to the language. Moreover, tech jargon and concepts often enter the mainstream vocabulary, so understanding these terms can boost overall language proficiency.
I hadn't thought about it that way, but you're absolutely right. Sonia, it's like getting a 2-for-1 deal. You improve your tech knowledge and your English skills simultaneously.
What a fantastic point to end on. This brings us to the conclusion of our discussion.
Thank you so much, Nabila, for inviting us to be part of this wonderful discussion. It was an absolute pleasure to share our thoughts here, and we're truly grateful for the opportunity. To the listeners, thank you for tuning in and being such an attentive audience.
We appreciate your time and interest, and we hope our conversation has been valuable to you. We look forward to joining you again in the future. Thank you, Nabila and listeners.
Thank you, Sonia and Alex, for being with us today and sharing your thoughts. Your ideas have added so much to our discussion, and I'm sure our listeners have learned a lot. On behalf of our audience and myself, I really appreciate your time and everything you've shared. It's been great having you here, and I hope we can have more talks like this in the future. To our listeners, remember, staying updated with rapidly changing technologies is not just about being tech savvy. It's a valuable way to enhance your English skills too. Whether you're in tech, marketing, or any other field, the strategies we've discussed today can help you stay ahead of the curve. Here's a quick recap of the key points. 1. Dedicate time daily to learning about new technologies. 2. Use a mix of resources, social media, newsletters, online communities. 3. Balance deepening existing skills with exploring new ones. 4. Apply new knowledge through practical projects. 5. Network to gain diverse perspectives. 6. Evaluate technologies based on adoption, impact, and longevity. 7. Use tech learning as an opportunity to improve your English skills. We hope this episode has given you valuable insights and motivation to embrace the ever-changing world of technology while boosting your English fluency. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast if you found it helpful. Join us next week when we'll be discussing how to ace a job interview in English. Until then, keep learning, keep earning, and stay fluent.